What's up YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Chandelure in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoy these guides, if they help you out and they make you think, drop a like on the video and let's get into it. Firstly, with Chandelure, this Pokemon has a ginormous special attack, which is obviously its best stat. They're 145 base. It's crazy. The next best sort of stats we're looking at here primarily are going to be its speed, because it's going to be like a it's not super duper fast, but it does work a decent choice scar set, which I'm going to be showing here. The rest of it has got, you know, just average sort of bulk all over, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've got a ghost and a fire type, and it has pretty good coverage overall. So let's have a look at this scarf or choice spec set. Since it has such a high base special attack, I'd say both of these are going to work very well. So we've got Fire Blast as its main fire move. You've got 110 base power, and it's got pretty good accuracy on Fire Blast. So you can opt for Flamethrower if you are worried about misses or pressure Pokemon. And especially because you're locked in to one move, so you can always change it up. Obviously, it's Ghost move, it's Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball's a solid move there, 80 base power. And especially if you're on a Choice Specs or Scarf, you're locked into using that same move, you do have a chance of dropping the special defense too. So if someone tries to stall you, it's pretty good. The other move I'd definitely run in there would be Energy Ball for sure. This has got 90 base power, and we've got a 10% chance to drop the special defense too. But very, very good for any ground type Pokemon, rock type Pokemon. And it's another reason why I like to run Terra type Grass in there too. So Terra type Grass powers up that Grass move, and you'll be finding to use it against water Pokemon and other things too. The great thing about it is it's got the ability Flash Fire, so you can bait out people. When you go Terra Grass, they may be inclined to use a fire type move against you for super effective, but that's actually going to give you a boost in your by 1.5 on your fire type moves and fire and immunity, which is going to be very, very good. So a nice little combination to go for there. At least it's going to stop, you know, any fire type moves coming your way, even when you're a grass type, which is very, very good. We've also got Flame Body and Infiltrator. But Flash Fire, I say Flash Fire or Flame Body pretty good. They're all reasonably good abilities in their own way for Chandelure. So I'll do some different movesets based on all of them. The other move I like to run on Chandelure, a Choice Scarf or a Spec set, is Trick. Trick is very, very good on this Pokemon, especially if you've got bulky special defensive walls coming in there. You can actually trick them, the Choice Specs or Scarf, and that cripples them, basically. So that'll be very, very good, and it frees you up using all your other moves as well. With this EV spread, I would be using Max Speed, Max Special Attack, Timber Nature. As I said, 80 base speed is not, it's okay, but it's nothing amazing, so it absolutely does need that. If you are running a Choice Scarf set, it's very, very nice. If you want more base power, you can put Specs on there as well, but I'd still definitely keep it at Timid for sure. If you feel like you're missing out on a little bit of power with Scarf and you want to go Modest, you can do that as well, but you do miss out on a fair bit of speed, and even with a Choice Scarf, you absolutely still can be outsped. So it depends sort of what rule set you're playing and what Pokemon you're hoping to come across and stuff like that. But usually Timid is pretty good because that allows you to outspeed most things. And, you know, you might come across an opposing Chandelure that's Choice Scarf as well. And in that case, you want to win that matchup, right? In speed. So, yeah, that's how I will run this as a Specs and Scarf user. I'd say this set will be used pretty much the main set you come across, especially in singles. In doubles, I've got some double set coming up here, which are a little bit different, but you could absolutely use a Choice Scarf or Specs user if you wanted to in doubles, so you just have to adjust some of the moves on there, like Fire Blast and stuff like that. So that's a very, very solid set I found for Chandelure. It's a great wall breaker, this Pokemon, with that, you know, massive special attack. It's very, very hard to swap into as well. You are going to take a lot of damage, right? And you've got reasonable coverage there. So that's, you know, you've got Energy Ball, which gives you good coverage against its weaknesses. You've got Shadow Ball. You know, if a normal type's going to come in there, you can, you know, hit them with Fire Blast and stuff like that. So it's pretty dang good coverage there for sure. Now, the next sort of set that I would consider here could possibly be a Calm Mindset. Now, I know you think it's already got a lot of special attack already, but, you know, why not boost that base 100, use that 145 base power even more, right? So we've got Carmine and Flamethrower on this one. I don't think there's any need to have Fire Blast on that. You could if you wanted to. Flamethrower is good though because you've got a lot more PP and you're not going to miss moves. So I don't know. It's sort of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Like, if you miss it, it's terrible, but if you land the Fire Blast, it's really good. So that's sort of up to you. Energy Ball, of course, and Shadow Ball. So it's pretty much the same moves as the last set, just a little bit different here. We're running Calm Mind, so boosting up our special attack. We've got Timid Nature, of course. You need Timid Nature, and we've got max special attack EVs, and you can put it into defense or special defense. Doesn't really matter there too much. I've got Infiltrator on this one. Once again, you could go with the Flash Fire Terra Grass if you wanted to. That's going to work. Or if you want even more power out of your fire type move, you can go Terra Fire, which is fine, and you can go Fire Blast too. It sort of depends on what your team, what you're hoping to come across, and what you're trying to achieve with your moveset, right? I'm just trying to give you some options here. With Infiltrator, it's still a very, very good ability because this is quite a good surprise ability because it can ignore substitutes. And that's very, very good. Like say the opponent's got a substitute up, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get set up on, this is really bad. Bring it in there, hit them, bypass the substitute, and feint them. It's going to be really, really good. Another great thing is it gets past that Reflect and Light screen, Safeguard, Mist, and Aurora Veil. So that's also very good. So say if, old Ninetales sets up the Aurora Veil, well, bam. It's very, very handy. It is a little bit situational if you don't come across any substitutes, screens, those sort of things. But, if you do come across it, it's very, very handy. So just keep that one in mind. Maybe if your team might struggle against sort of sets that have substitute or reflect or, those sort of things there. Maybe something to consider. So I've got heavy duty boots as the item here, which is good on Chandelure in my opinion, because you're not going to drop your speed, which you don't really want to drop your speed. Plus entry hazards, stealth rock, anything like that's going to be it's going to be bad for Chandelure, especially swapping that in continually. I would definitely have heavy duty boots on there for sure, or at least something like, I don't know, more gimmicky. You could have like Shuka Berry or something like that. But I feel heavy duty boots is a very good item for this Pokemon, and you can even get away with it on like this. I know it's a very, very similar set. You could even get away with it on. They're virtually the same as well. If you had, maybe if you didn't want to run Choice Scarf, like so this one here, and you wanted to have like another attacking move, like instead of Calm Mind, you could do that as well. That's another option too with heavy duty boots. But they're very, very similar sets there. I've just sort of swapped the ability around. Now, for argument's sake, you could have Flame Body on this as well. I know some people like to have Flame Body on there. It is a little bit gimmicky because pretty much you're relying on the opponent to burn themselves. That's pretty much it, right? So if you get hit by a contact move and it's a physical attacker, great. You've crippled you could cripple a scary, powerful physical attacker. But I feel like Infiltrator and Flashfire are better in some ways because you can control them a little bit more, right? Especially with Flashfire and Terra Grass that we talked about earlier on. And Infiltrator as well. With Flame Body, it's just a chance. You know what I mean? It could work if you're going to swap it into a not very effective move. Say if someone's using, like, for example, you don't have, let's say I had Flame Body, for example, right? And then someone was using fire moves. Like, contacting fire moves or something that wasn't very effective, sure. If you were able to swap it in, that would be good. But overall, I feel like you can control Flash Fire and Infiltrator a lot more than Flame Body. But still, reasonable abilities on this Pokemon. So that's a Calm Mind build here. Basically, what you're trying to do, you're going to try and swap this in on a threatening Pokemon. Or if you got a chance to set up on something that's quite passive, you can do that as well. And get your special attack and special defense up. You'll be able to live those special defensive hits a lot better. After one Calm Mind, you're going to be able to live. You're going to be able to live like Surfs and Hydro Pumps, for example. Earth Powers, stuff like that. That's going to threaten Chandelure, so that's going to be quite good too. So that'll give you extra bulk and extra special attack too. So after one Calm Mind, this thing is going to be hitting like crazy, right? So very, very good. Sort of like just. When I'm thinking about these sort of sets here as well, any sticky web users on your team would be very good. This comment's more directed towards singles, because you're going to get that that speed support there, and Chandelure obviously loves speed going first with the choice scarf sets and stuff like this. All right, people, let's have a look at Chandelure, not so much in a speedier form, but in a slower form. Now, this can work for doubles as well. Absolutely. So this is definitely could be directed at doubles. You'd probably just have to adjust Fire Blast for Heat Wave. But we'll get to doubles in a sec there. So with this set, we got a room service Chandelure. I've run I love Flash Fire and Terror type Grass. I think it's a good combination. I like to do it with, you can do it with like stuff like Typhlosion and things, other fire Pokemon get this combo. It's a good one, right? So we got Room Service there. Room Service is great because once Trick Room is active, you're going to get a speed drop by 1 stage. And that's going to make sure that you actually outspeed those real slow Pokemon. Because even with, as you can see, I've got Quiet Nature here. Max Health, Max Special Attack, Quiet Nature. You can still get outsped in Trick Room. And opposing, say, for example, like an opposing Chandelure or a much slower Pokemon with, like, say, maybe 40 or 30, 20 base speed, right? This is going to allow you to have a chance at outspeeding them. Yeah, so that's how I go for it. So we got our Trick Room. Grady can set its own Trick Room up too. Or, I'm not saying you don't have to have Trick Room. You could have another, maybe some other Pokemon on your team to set the Trick Room. Maybe free up the Chandelure for a Calm Mind. You can do that too. Or in doubles per se, maybe Protect, that sort of thing. We got Shadow Ball, Fire Blast. These are sort of its standard moves, right? This works well on it. Absolutely. These are very, very good moves. The only thing for singles, you could change up Fire Blast or Flamethrower. If you're looking at doubles, change it up to Heat Wave. That would be what I would be doing. Energy Ball outpowers Terra Blast Grass as well. If you're wondering, outpowers it by 10 base, and it's got that special defensive drop, so that's why I've done that. And yeah, that's how I go about running Chandelure in Trick Room. It's a nice Trick Room Pokemon for sure. Now, let's have a look at some doubles here and VGC style. And I want to discuss some teammates and some counters and stuff like that too. So I like to sort of go over everything. So I feel like Chandelure can run a Focus Sash in doubles, okay? Not so much in singles, though, because there's a lot in my... There's a lot more entry as in singles compared to doubles, so it's a little bit too slow for that in doubles. So I would give this as Focus Sash as an item. I feel like it's quite a good item on it, and you could run Trick Room, or you could run the choice scarf sets that are run, or the speedier sets that are run. Let's go over Trick Room first. So we've adjusted it to Heat Wave here. So Heat Wave is a nice spreading move there, hitting both the opponents. You've got, I've given it Flash Fire and Terra type Grass. We've got Shadow Ball, Trick Room, and Energy Ball. So same sort of moves there as I mentioned before. This one, I've given it Max Health and Max Special Attack Quiet Nature, so you could run Trick Room, and then you could just drop the EVs off in there for Chandelure, for a low amount of speed too. That could work. You could have stuff like Indeedee set up the Trick Room. That's an option for a Trick Room partner. Other ones, you could have like Armorogue and things like that too. But if you don't want to run this, say you don't want to run this as a slow Pokemon, you want to run it as a faster Pokemon, you can easily do those EVs as well. So like you could go like drop the health, go to Timid. Obviously you want 31 IVs there, and you could go for that style there. And instead of Trick Room, you could just pop on Protect on there. Protect is always a good option to have. Let's have a look at some other ones there. You got a couple of other interesting options here, actually. You've got Will-O-Wisp as well. I like to say like Will-O-Wisp is still not too bad. You've got Trick as well. I probably wouldn't go Trick with Focus Sash though. That would be a bit of a gimmick, but yeah, I'd probably have Protect on there for doubles if you didn't want to go down the Trick Room route. I'm trying to think of some other things that it could be handy. Oh, yeah, as I said, Will-O-Wisp. If you wanted, say if you didn't want to go for a real... You could have Overheat as well. Just mind you, with Overheat, using that move, you're going to be dropping on Special Attack. So you might be inclined, this is another way you can get around that a little bit. And to cause some momentum, you can go Eject Pack. So that's going to be quite handy there, because once you go for Overheat, it's going to eject you out of the battle. That way you're not going to be sitting duck there with that special attack drop by 2. So that's another way you could possibly run a Chandelure as well. There's a lot of options there. I've gone Flash Fire. You can go Flame Body, Infiltrator if you like. It more depends on what your set was, but I believe that Flash Fire is a superior ability on Chandelure, especially with Terra-type Grass. It works quite well. Now, another item that you can run as well on Chandelure, if you're not going to be running a Trick Room set, because we've got Room Service, you could run Life Orb on there, on the speedier one. Sorry, that's my Trick Room set. You could run Life Orb on there. That's another item you can go for. I mean, you got Citrus Berry on there. Citrus Berry is another good item there that's going to give you a little bit of health back there. Safety Goggles is actually quite a decent one too, depending on like what your team could be. But if you're running in some sort of weather like sand or I don't know, like if you're running in sand or you don't want to take damage from those sort of things, Safety Goggles will definitely help you out there, making you immune, which is going to be quite good. So there's some extra options there for Chandelure. Now, let's just discuss a few teammates there in general here. So, with Chandelure, I'd probably, some good team, like I was going to say Urshifu. Urshifu is always a very, very good teammate there for the Chandelure. You've got other stuff like Among Us is good too. There's quite a good array of Pokemon that would be good partners for it. So you've got Among Us, that's another good one. Trying to think. So you've got, actually Blood Moon wouldn't be too bad either. Ursaluna Blood Moon, so, with its normal typing and ground, so that's not too bad as well. So there are a couple of partners you can use there. That's probably more centered around doubles. I mean, I got to say Iron Hands as well. I mean, of course, being it's electric and typing and bulk, that's going to be a very good partner getting around Chandelure's encounters and stuff too. So there's a couple of good teammates for you, especially in the realms of doubles and stuff like that too. Being like hyper specific here, we could have a look at some Water Absorb Pokemon or Storm Drain Pokemon. So you've even got Ogerpon Wellspring there. You've got Clodsire. Got a couple of Quaggy and Vaporeon and things like that, which are pretty good there. Or Volcanion, depending on sort of what rule set you're playing. I'm trying to be general here because I know lots of people play different rules. So that's a couple. Gastrodon. I mean, I'm thinking Gastrodon right now wouldn't be too bad there. Like just a Storm Drain sort of build there. I don't know if I've done a I should do a Gastrodon build because I haven't done that yet, but. That's just another one of the many I'd like to add to the list, but I digress. So yeah, that's Gastrodon, that's another one. So you got a couple of good partners there and stuff and teammates there if you'd like to give that a try. If you've got any others, yes, go for it. I mean, there are a lot that do work nicely with Chandelure for sure. Now, thinking of some counters here for this Pokemon. So I would say, I know this Pokemon isn't in the game yet, but I have to say this because I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the game. Incineroar, being a dark type, that's in fire as well. That's going to be a heavy counter for this, for sure. Any sort of dark type Pokemon too, I'll just put them in there. So this has a lot of counters. So we got like some dark Pokemon here. Anything like especially Incineroar, that's like a real top counter as well. I don't know whether we're gonna get any Ultra Beast back in the game, but like I'm not really sure about that. Like even like Guzzlord, I know that's quite a specific counter, but yeah, you've got some other counters there as well, like Samurott. That's gonna be bad. I know you can have Energy Ball, but that could really threaten you, like Samurott Hisuian as well. That could be a very good threat too. Special Walls, right? Umbreon, right? Oof. Yeah, it's going to be annoying because you won't be able to use Shadow Ball there. If you're locked into Fire Blast or Scarf, it could be dicey, so, it can hit you with other moves and stall you and things like that, so that could be a problem. Any special defensive walls, like Blissey, could be annoying as well. Snorlax, those sort of Pokemon. Thick, fat Pokemon. Just come to think of that, that's going to be an issue as well, and they can threaten you with like an Earthquake or Crunch or something like that. So it has a lot of counters, as you can see. Entry Hazards is another one. We mentioned that more. That's more for singles though. Remember, I was talking about the heavy duty boots there. That's another one. Milotic's kind of. I'm thinking like some bulky water Pokemon too. Milotic's... I don't know if we'll get Suicune back in the game, but there you go. There's like just an abundance of like teammates and counters for you to think about there. So where was there? So that's the doubles down. I've got singles on doubles, done some teammates. So I've got a little bit of more of some gimmicks here. I know a few of you like the gimmicks and memes. So let's have a look at this one. It's a PIMPNITE special. So we've got a bulky Trapper here. So I've run this one as Terra Normal. Now, Terra Normal actually, I haven't discussed Terra that much. I know I've said grass and fire and stuff like that, but I don't mind Terra Normal because you can get around any ghost type moves going your way. So it's more of a surprise packet, right? So that's more of a surprise one, whereas grass and the flash fires probably one you can control a little bit more, right? And it's probably going to be a bit more practical, I'd say, in terms of damage. Whereas this one's probably going to stall you a turn or so. So this one is a max health, max special defense, calm nature, and last little bit in defense. We've got flame body, which is going to be better on this set because, okay, with flame body, you want to get hit a lot of times for it to actually be worth it, right? Because Flame Body's not going to activate. Most of the time, you're not going to get a Flame Body activation unless you're lucky. If you continually get hit, then that's going to increase the chance you Flame Body activating, right? So that's why I feel like Flash Fire and Infiltrator are superior most of the time to Flame Body. Unless you're going to deliberately sack it off against a physical attack as a threat or something, things like that. So we got our Flame Body. So we got Acid Armor. It gets Acid Armor, which is really cool. We got Pain Split. So it can split the pain and heal itself back up. We got Fire Spin as a trapping move and Nightshade. So it's like this bulky Fire Spin Nightshade set. So Acid Armor is going to increase its defense. And it's got decent special of 90. Its health is kind of bad. That's why I've used Pain Split. Even with max health, that's still fine for Pain Split. I felt like doing this is it's no, let's be real, it's no Shuckle, right? So you're gonna need to go like max health. So yep, and then you've got Nightshade for fixed damage and Flame Body. You might be able to burn a physical attacker. And Moringa Berry is going to give you a special defense raised by 1 if you get hit by a special attack, which is going to be single use. So the idea is to keep this thing in once the Moringa Berry activates. So a little bit of a gimmick set, but it's a bulky, nasty Trapper, which could be a little bit of fun to use. Like, Chandelure gets a very, very good amount of interesting moves for sure. Let's have a look at this next set, and then we'll go over all its moves and some last-minute thoughts and stuff like that. So this is a curse set. It's a PIMPNITE special. Like, it is really, this is definitely a PIMPNITE special. So we got a physical Chandelure, only on PIMPNITE Shadow. You're not going to see these sort of moveset guides anywhere, people. So we got Curse Trash, as I called it. So we got Curse. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. So I want to use the move Curse on Chandelure, but since it's a ghost type, it's going to get rid of half my health, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go Terra Fire. So with Terra Fire, we'll go Curse. Since we're a fire type, it's not going to affect it the same way as a ghost would. It's going to give me a +1 in attack and defense and a drop in speed. The drop in speed will be negated by my item, which is White Herb, and that'll give it a chance to actually do some damage, right? With its amazing 55 base attack. And then we got max speed as well. I had to give it Adamant Nature because, let's be real, it's absolute garbage. So Poltergeist is its best ghost type physical move. We got a 90 accuracy. The only dicey thing about it is it fails if the opponent doesn't have a held item. So if that happens, well, you got to go for the Mighty Flare Blitz. It gets Flare Blitz, which is pretty cool. And to wrap things up, I'm going to give it a Grass move, not only for super effective coverage, but to increase its speed as well. I've got Terra type Fire with Flash Fire. Look, you could go Terra type Grass as well. You could try and bait them into that. That could work too with Terra type Grass and Flash Fire. Curse will still work, so that's another idea you can go for there. But a true PIMPNITE special. I hope you like this. Hope you appreciate the memes here, people. But like I said, I like to cover everything, not just like the most competitive sets. We like to think about everything. Let's have a last little look here at Chandelure's moves, because it does learn a lot of good moves, and I'll give you some of my thoughts on them. So let's bring up the status moves there. So we've gone over Acid Armor, Carmine, Curse. It does get Haze too. It does get Memento. Memento can create stuff which is pretty interesting for sure. Might be able to create a swap in or a sweep. So we got over that. Rest Sleep Talk, I don't see that being too viable. It's not really too bulky enough. It does have Taunt, which is okay. Is it fast enough and bulky enough to make use of it? It's okay. I wouldn't say it's that great on it, depending on what rule set you're playing. We've got Trick. We've gone over that. Trick is a lovely item on it. Trick Room, a great move on it. Will-O-Wisp is good too, but, you know, you do have Flame Body as well, but if you're not running Flame Body, it can be handy and stuff like that. We got Confused Ray. Imprison is actually a fire-ass move for an opposing Chandelure. Seriously, like, this is mega trolling, though, and being hyper-specific here. If you come across, like, seriously, this is a mean moveset. It really is. Like, you know what I'm going to do. So, like, if you want to completely shut down an opposing Chandelure, like, no joke, like, it's cruel, right? You just run this set. So if you go in prison, they won't be able to use Fire Blast, Energy Ball, Shadow. They're cooked, right? But obviously it's a very hyper-specific thing if you came across another one. So I don't know if Chandelure ever got some crazy usage. Use this set. It will completely shut them down. Just give it, like, you know, just it's normal EVs. You could move like a max speed one and things like that. You know, we went over these type of sets already. And yeah, that's a set you can go for. And another item that could be cool on it too could be Weakness Policy. If he swapped in into like a weak sort of hit, that could give it a necessary boost as well. That's another thing. So yeah, we've gone over that. Let's bring up some of its special attacking moves. I like to go over absolutely everything here. So we've gone over its status moves. It does get Clear Smog, which is a little bit gimme. Dark Pulse is okay. They're more like coverage moves. Pretty much you want a grass move, energy ball, a fire move, fire blast, a flamethrower, or a ghost move, Shadow Ball. You could have Hex as well. Hex could work if you've got a Pokemon that's going to spread status. Say you've got a Toxic Spikes Pokemon at the start, lay them Toxic Spikes down, then you could go double base power Hex, great. But most of the time, the opponent's going to find a way to clear them, or it may not be effective against all the Pokemon. They've got a Poison type, a Steel type. It may not go that way all the time, so it's more gimmicky, but if you feel confident you can get those Toxic Spikes down or spread status throughout the team, that could be very good option there as well for some extra base power. Double base power that's way stronger than Shadow Ball. We went over Ovate. Now, Ovate could be an option for a Choice Spec set on Chandelure as well. Get that big damage. That's another option. Psychic is okay, an okay coverage move as well. And yeah, Terra Blast, I don't think you're going to use Terra Blast at all, unless you're going like Terra Blast Water. That could be another option as well. So that's just another coverage move. Or turn Chandelure into a water type. So that could be like a counterplay against like an opposing fire type. So it's something to think about there. You could do like fun little shenanigans, maybe with Burning Jealousy and doubles and stuff like that. And then we got Solar Beam as well, but you might have to do like Solar Beam on a Sun team. Yeah, so a Sunny team, like let's say Torkoal for example. I'm just gonna do like a example here. So say you had Solar Beam and Fire Blast. I'm talking about just a sweeping set, so you know, special attack and speed EVs or health and special attack, right? You could have a Torkoal, and that sets up the Sun, right? With Drought, you know, it's got Heat, Rock, and things like that. I need to do a Torkoal guide. And then we've got like Torkoal, and then you can run it with that. That way you could go for a super powerful Solar Beam instead of Energy Ball. So that's always another option there as well. And I think we pretty much covered all of its status moves there, status and special. And of course, I'll show you its physical moves. I know you're excited to see this. They are terrible. So we've got Facade, Flamethrower, Flare, Blitz, Lash Out. At least they got Poltergeist, right? But I don't think anyone's going to be using a physical Chandelure outside of memes. But if you're here for the memes, I got you covered with that physical set earlier and maybe this bulky trapper one. But that's pretty much it, people. My final thoughts on Chandelure. It's a very good Pokemon. I don't think it's not going to get like a stupid amount of usage. It's a great wall breaker, a nice Choice Scarf Specs Pokemon, and it can run some pretty cool, interesting shenanigans in doubles as well. So I hope you enjoyed this one, people. I hope you found this insightful, good. Once again, if there's a Pokemon you really want me to do, put it below in the comment section. I have done over 100 of these already, so just make sure I haven't done it already before suggesting it. And yeah, that's about it. Peace out, people.